Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I want to make a video, and this video is kind of like a motivational video, but it's more so like you have to motivate yourself, like motivate yourself video. And I mean, it kind of get really deep, but deep is a good word for it because in this video I want to provide information on how you can motivate yourself. And when I say motivate yourself, I really mean like your DNA. It sounds crazy to say motivate your DNA, but we sometimes we all get into like a depression mode or something. Let's see, like a depression mode, and sometimes we can put ourselves down, like some people, they don't like the way they look. They be in the mirror, be like, oh, I would never be good enough. I would never. They can be jealous of the next person. And pretty much, I want to tell you today to love yourself. And I know everybody talk about you can love yourself, all that stuff, but you really have to dig deep. Like, I know this is just a video, but I'm really talking about like in everyday instances. Like, I remember when I first started working, when I first started working at this fast food restaurant. It was a Long John Silver's, y'all know the fish place. I think I was like 16 or whatever. And, this was like one of my first jobs, and I was really enjoying it. But it seemed like I would come across some miserable people. Like, I was a happy fellow up in there, but it's like the miserable people, like the customers, that energy would feed on to me. And then I remember like I was working a headset, right, on a drive-through, and when cars pulled up to the intercom, they'd make a ding sound. And I remember either seeing cars when they about to pull up to that drive-through, or right when they pull up that ding sound, I get like this is a depression type feeling. And I always had to motivate myself. I always had to tell myself something. But that's the thing though. It's like you have to believe what you're telling yourself. So when it comes down to it, I had to write down a list of things that I would like to focus on instead of like that depression state, like where my mind usually lead to, like, oh, I don't want to be here, I don't like this, all that stuff that just wouldn't really uplift me. So what I did was I wrote down the things that would make me happy, the things that would give me joy, the things I would like to have in life, and stuff like that, to uplift myself. And then I had to summarize those things up. To come up with a statement to help me, motivate myself. And one thing I do remember that I came up with was everything was good. Now, I'm not sure how I came up with that statement. Like I said, I had to write down some things. I don't think that was the first one I came up with. I think that was like the second thing that came to mind after I came up with the first one, right? So I had to ask myself, how is everything good? And yes, it's probably like some superstition stuff, but I would say like everything happens for a reason. That's why everything is good. So like I would think of it like everything is going to be okay, but not only everything is going to be okay, everything is okay. It's like living in grace, right? Living a graceful type life or whatever. So like whenever I would have those depression states, excuse me, y'all, I gotta pull up a little bit. I'm right here at the store. So whenever I had those depression feelings or whatever, I would have to remind myself like everything is good, I had to remind, why is everything good? Because everything happens for a reason, So yeah, I would have to eventually these names, like these words of affirmation, excuse me, check myself out. Eventually, these words of affirmation would really help me out, but they would become like something that I take with me, and they like really help me out in a way, because I understand, like I said, when people are depressed, they tell themselves things, and what you tell yourself, it really matters, especially if you believe it. So I got to the point where I uplifted myself, like, all the time. Whenever I felt this negative energy, I would remind myself of certain things that would uplift me. And it got to the point where I'd be so uplifted to a certain state that like I'd be vibrating on a certain frequency, on a positive frequency, to the point where I'd be there where I was focusing. I'd take myself there, and my body would follow. Like energy, the moves, everything would follow. And like I said, as I focused more and more, I got to a more simplistic thought of words of affirmation that helped me, and it did so much for me. I smile. I don't get involved in drama. I remember I used to see people taking breaks a lot at the Long John Silver's, and I was so uplifted that I would be ready to knock out the world, ready to do everything. I just wasn't like tired or lazy. To be honest, it's kind of like put me apart of a lot of people, so it's like you may draw yourself away from a crowd. So if you do like start uplifting yourself and start setting yourself to a certain tone, because that's what it'd be like. You set a tone, like sounds or vibrations or whatever. You will resonate with this. Like I said, I was uplifting, so I was bringing myself to a certain frequency where I was vibrating on that frequency, and it's still like that today. I don't really get involved, but like I said, you're gonna take yourself away from a group, and that group is people who usually are down, depressed, people who probably don't have people have insecurities. What I realized is like I know myself a lot, to the point where like I can bring out insecurities in others. And it's not like I'm doing that on purpose, it's just that people will act out if they probably not so sure of themselves and who they are. They probably don't know what to do next, so they act out. But you don't have to be that person. You can be the person who rests in that confidence of knowing who you are. And this is kind of like bring up the topic of miracles or whatever, but it's like you start walking a certain path, or you start having your mind set on a certain idea, picture, or energy state or something, and it's like life, like the universe, or things come different for you. Like your bubble be different. I don't want to make this video too long, but I just don't want to miss any points. This will be a life changer. But one thing about it is you have to be able to pay attention. You have to be very mindful of your surroundings, of you, because things like small things can affect you. And it's up to you to how you react to that, respond to that. One thing I have realized that it's a lot of good people in the world. Like one thing about me, like I said, I was such a happy person, but when I started working and started dealing with people that I've never dealt with before, like the outside community, I was seeing a lot of people was kind of negative, And around this time, I had my 2 kids. I had just had 2 kids, and yes, I was young. But I'm being in this world. I'm leaving home for my 2 children, having a good time, smiling and everything. But I'm going to this job and seeing all these people depressed around me. So I told myself, I don't want my kids to be like that. I don't want my kids growing up being depressed. I know everybody usually, all the kids, they be like, I can't wait till I grow up. But nobody never really imagined when you grow up it's gonna be so depressing. How can you be so free? Why is it so depressing? So I told myself I don't want my kids to live like that. So I made sure that I want to be an example for my kids, because I can't expect nobody else to do that. So what I did was I took it upon myself to transmute that energy, pretty much. The energy that I had, make it better. And yeah, man, it'd be really a big game changer. It's a lot of stuff involved with that part when it comes to motivating yourself. But yeah, pay attention to the small things. It could be the small things that can get you down. But you just have to try to remind yourself what's really important, and that's your happiness. So I'm gonna leave it there, y'all. I'll pull up in here. But yeah, if I would suggest you taking steps on moving forward from this video, it'd be like write a list of things that make you happy, or you know keep you uplifted or something, and try to make it simplistic, and to where you can use that as words of affirmation to remind yourself, remind your DNA, pretty much. Because like I said, it be the small things, and it's not like you have control over it. But if you can continue to remind yourself of these words of affirmation, it'd be like painting a picture. Not only painting a picture, but looking at a picture, right? And the more you look at this picture, the more you're gonna see everything that's really there. And I feel like that's the miracle part of it. It's gonna be in your face. Once you continue to focus on this, it's gonna be right there in your face, and you're gonna see it. And that's probably when you set the tone. So like I said, I don't want to make this video too long, but I'm always happy to hear some comments. If y'all have a comment, if y'all have any questions, or if any disagreements, anything, I want to know. So, because I will probably respond in comments, depending on how mature the question or whatever it is. And like the video, and have a good day. For the most part, have a good day, y'all. All right, bye.